Hello, welcome to yoga class. My name is Lindsay and I'll be your yoga teacher for today. So just ignore this little microphone here. I'm adding it into the frame only because it makes my sound a little bit better. So as we transition into our practice, let's have a strap for sure, a blanket, and start with our hips elevated on a block. So grab your block and find your sits bones. Create a nice length into the spine, up into the crown of the head. And begin to deepen your breath here. Start to lift our chest and lengthen the back of the neck. Inhaling into the side ribs, the fronts of the shoulders like we've been working on the past few weeks. Letting those shoulder blades come together a little bit more and down the back. Bringing that into the tailbone, tucking the tailbone slightly, lifting up through Mula Bandha and Uddiyana Bandha. On the exhale, we contract those energy root blocks, lifting the pelvic floor, bringing that energy into the navel center, engaging even the back body in that action to really solidify the erector spinae along the spine. And using our breath all the while to help this dynamic, these tiny movements, and the balance from left to right, front to back. So find your space, your place where you feel contained and solid. And also moving and vibrating with the breath. Take a few more breaths here with mindfulness into that container. Good. Last breath, inhale. Exhaling. Good. And then let's bring the strap nearby. We're going to open up the arms a bit, going into some arm balances today. So let's bring the right arm across the shoulder, pulling that left elbow towards the left, pulling the right elbow towards the left shoulder. Really stretching open the back of the scapula, the back of the arm, and then switch sides. Bring the opposite arm across, maintaining this posture and this asana, getting that energy out into the hands, opening up the back body. Good. And then let's bring the right hand to the left temple and gently pull the head down. Take a big inhale here. And exhale, let that gravity sink that head a little deeper to the right side. Good. Let's switch sides. Gently release. Left hand comes to right temple. Gravity does the work. Let's take an inhale here. And exhaling. Sinking a little deeper, that right shoulder moving away. Good, gently release. And then taking your strap, if you have more tight shoulders and you know you need that extra length, we'll take the right elbow over top next to the ear and bring the left hand to the right elbow, walking that hand down the middle of the back. So spend a moment here, inhaling, lifting the chest, rotating the side ribs and the side of the shoulder forward. But don't be careful not to scooch out the ribs here. I know I do that a lot, where the low ribs, the mid ribs kind of come out. Let's bring those ribs in and use that inner energy to lengthen instead. And then for those of you who want to take the bind, take this into another level. Drop that left hand, bend the elbow at the waist, and work your hand up till you get a little clasp, or if you're using the strap, you're going to bring the strap into the right hand, as so, and then that left hand is going to grab the strap. So if you have the strap, turn the palm side towards the shoulder and continue to rotate the shoulder, the right shoulder forward. If you have the grasp, same idea. Take another couple breaths here. Except the palm of the left hand is going to be coming towards the right shoulder. So just noticing how our hands can change the dynamic of the stretch. And switch sides. So find that posture. Bring the left arm bent elbow by the ear. Right hand comes to grab it to prep. Inhale, lift the chest. Pull the core muscles in and bring those side ribs around to the front. Get nice and long here. Walking that hand down the center of the shoulder blades. Sinking the hips. And then bend the right elbow towards the middle of the back. If you're taking the bind with the hands, or you're grabbing that strap. So take a couple moments to transition here. Once you have the strap or you have the bind, you're going to spread those elbows away from each other. And just notice how changing the hand changes the stretch. So bind people, the opposite hand's going towards the left shoulder, strap people, the top of the hand's going towards the right shoulder. And last breath. And exhale, release. Let's take our block out from under us. Move the strap to the side. And then come into a tabletop, bringing the fingertips to face the knees. We're going to do a little wrist stretch here. So open up the palm of the hand, lift the abdomen, lengthen the chest forward, and then draw those shoulder heads down the back. Sit back into your heels ever so slightly as you feel that wrist stretch in the forearm and the wrist. And the way you can keep your wrist safe is by spreading the fingers and lifting the center of the palm like a circus tent up into the arm. So fingers are spreading downwards, the inner arm, front of the arm is moving upwards. And then notice what this is doing to our neck, our back, our posture. I sort of notice my shoulder blades coming up the back. Let's bring them back down and pull all of that energy into the core here. Okay, and then come to normal tabletop. Let's reach the arms out into puppy pose. Keeping the hips over knees, just drop the heart center like a hammock between the hips and hands. Bringing your forehead or your chest, chin to the ground. Breathing, again, rotating those outer shoulders down, biceps towards the ceiling. Get nice and long, take another breath here. And exhale, come up. And then pop the top of the hand on your mat in tabletop with the fingers pointing towards the knees. And then lengthen your chest forward, pull the abdomen in, low ribs in. Exhale, lean a bit back. Get that stretch into the forearms, top of the arm here. Feels very good, I say. Get the weight even on both hands, too. So I'm a lefty, and for some reason my left hand is lighter than my right. So let's even out the tops of the hands. And secondary muscle group is core here. Keep lengthening, levitating, reaching the heels, the sits bones back. Last breath. And then exhale, gently come forward, flip one palm and then the other. And let's come to sit on our heels and shake the hands out. Whew. Nice little counter stretch to tech. I don't know about you, but sometimes my wrists can get really tight or my fingers just feel cracky and achy, so maybe that's just me. All right, let's come into our down dog. Rotate the palms externally, untuck the toes, and let's press back. Pedaling the feet, getting the legs warmed up here. We just spent some time on the upper body. So find that strength and that aliveness in the upper body, and then transfer that into the heels. Let's bring the right leg up behind in three-legged dog and press that left heel long. Weight even on both hands. See if you can measure your core over the center of your mat so that you can drop the right hip a little, keeping the hips square here. And use your core to lengthen out to all three prongs that are on the mat. And exhale, switch sides. Right foot comes down kind of in the center of the mat. Left heel reaches up, keep the heel squared. And then reach through those arms. Even pressure on the hands. Drop the head and neck. Shake the head and neck, yes and no. Pull that core in and press the top of the right leg back. A nice calf stretch here. Good. Inhale, drop the left foot. Let's come into a plank. Hold the plank. Lift and lengthen the chest forward, elbows back. Reach the heels away from the crown until you feel that core really start to fire up and engage. Let's drop both heels to the right side, lift the left arm, open up into side plank. Roll the top of the right shoulder forward and around so that right shoulder blade's coming down the back. In other words, the right elbow is going towards the back of the mat. And then come to plank, rock the heels to center. Exhale, rock them to the left, open up the right arm, side plank here. Lift the hips, bring that left elbow towards the back of the mat, and notice how that engages the entire left obliques, side of the body. Strong bottom leg here. And exhale, back to plank. Come to knees, chest, chin. Inhale. Little cobra here. Elbows back, reach the side ribs forward. Lengthen through the front of the neck. Exhale, lower, untuck the toes, come back into your down dog. Inhale, raise the right leg. Exhale, sweep it forward to the right wrist. Drop that left knee. Let's come to a crescent here. Open up the arms to the ceiling. Reach that chest forward and drop the hips a little bit more. So you can keep an integrity by tucking the tailbone and engaging this left hip flexor to the back of the body. And then reaching through that heart, like see if you can find that staff through the center of the heart. And that's going to really keep things nice and steady. Okay. Sorry, having a light issue here. And exhale, drop the hands. And let's come back to our down dog. Lifting the hips, pressing back. Let's take it to the other side. Left leg lifts. Exhale, sweep it forward to the left wrist, right knee down. Reach to your crescent. Exhale, drop the hips. Inner rotation of the back leg, so you're lifting the inner thigh of the back leg. And use your heart to reach the entire spinal column out of the hips. This may make more of a back bend for you, which is good. And exhale. Let's take a vinyasa here. Coming into plank or knees, chest, chin. Lowering down, looking forward. Roll the shoulders back, lift the heart. And exhale down. Inhale, reach the right leg back. Sweep it forward to the right wrist. Drop the left knee. Inhale to crescent. Untuck the back toes. Exhale, bring the thumbs to heart center. And let's twist over to the right. Bringing that left elbow outside the right knee. From here, lengthen the chest. Find that fulcrum where the elbow's pressing into the knee and the thumbs are coming to the center of the chest. So this might involve coming out of the lunge a little bit, and opening up the lower body to get that heart to open. Untuck the toes on the left and let's lift the back leg up. Reach the heel away. Again, shoulder blades together and down the back. All that energy from the heart. It's helping to keep the neck centered. And exhale, lower down. Let's take the hands inside of the right leg. Lift the back knee and walk those hands in lizard out to the left here. So you can come onto one elbow or both elbows if that's easier. For more of a core challenge, you're going to walk your hands out 45 or so degrees away from the pelvis. So pull that right outer hip back, lift that inner left thigh, breathe and lengthen the chest forward. Get lighter in the fingertips, back heel the rudder, and exhale, pull everything back in, open up the right arm to the sun in a twist here, and then exhale, take your vinyasa. Getting back into down dog, lift the left leg behind. Exhale, sweep it forward to the left wrist. Right knee down. I'm untucking my toes, coming into crescent. Sweep the arms up. Sink the heels. Exhale, come out, bring the hands to heart center. Twist to the left. Elbow outside knee. Come out of your lunge enough to bring those thumbs to the heart. Inhale, twist into that lower body. Exhale, twist a little deeper. Untuck the back toes here. And we'll come into the lifted knee version. Pressing into the back heel, lift that back knee, and lengthen the chest away from the pelvis more. So be sure that the right hip's not dropping too much. You're keeping length through the left inner thigh. And get a little taller here. Last breath. Good. Exhale, lower the knee. Bring the hands inside the left foot, and then walk them out to the right. Coming into your lizard here. So variation, if you took the variation taken on the same side, I'm having for the advanced or the challenge, if you want to challenge yourself today to lift the back leg and walk out onto the fingertips outside the mat. So again, pulling that left outer hip in, using that strength to charge the back leg, the right glute, and see if you can get lighter in those fingertips. Left inner thighs lifting, last breath. And exhale, let's take a vinyasa here. Plank pose, look forward, bend the elbows, strong legs here. Inhale, roll it up. Exhale, make your way back to down dog. Good. Inhale, we're going to take a jump to the top of the mat, but this time legs are going to be wide. So inhale, look forward, bend the knees. And as you exhale, hop, heels in, feet wide, into like a froggy malasana here. Bring your elbows at the inner knees and drop the hips, malasana. You need a block under your sacrum. If you're very, very tight, I think probably half of you will need a blanket underneath the heels. But we know where we're going. Lift the chest. Pressure on both sides, elbow and knee. Let's open it out to the right. Drop the right hand. Lift the left. Twist up using those side ribs, using the hips, the glutes. Exhale, back to center. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, left hand down, right arm up. Reach and lengthen the inner body. Let the calves bring the calves lift the legs, the knees up, and that's going to help the hips and side ribs to open. Exhale, back to center. Let's place the hands down, lift the hips, and come to wide-legged forward fold. Drop the head. Take opposite elbows. If you like, also peace fingers around the big toe. We'll spend 3 or 4 breaths here. If you have peace fingers around the toes, level 2, level 3, bend the knees slightly as the elbows come wide, and then tuck the chin, lengthen the front body up to come to more of a more active leg pose in this forward fold. Again, pull the back of the neck, the center of the back up. It's going to feel funky on the shoulders, but then the chest can lower down from there. So when we bring our shoulder blades up the back, the front of the chest, the rib cage, can start to come down. Or more, down and forward into that nice posture when we're standing. So feel around for that. Feel that back body going down, front body moving up. Elbows wide. Good. Exhale, come to halfway. Walk the feet in to touch. And what do you know? We are at the top of our mat. And the knees come up slowly. Reach the arms. And exhale down. All right. So we'll take some flows here. Let's come into chair. Bend the knees. Weight even in the heels. Sweep the arms, look forward. Get nice and heavy in the heels with the inner thighs and sits bones moving down and back. Squeeze the knees together. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, place the hands, step or hop back to plank. Take a vinyasa here. And down dog, reach the right leg, open up the hip, bend the knee. Kind of a wild thing here. If you want to just reach the toes, or you can bring your left heel to the left and drop that right foot outside of your mat, coming into wild thing where you're lifting the hips and in a back bend here. And don't overthink it. It's really just crossing your right leg over top behind you. And then coming up into three-legged dog. Exhale. Left foot lifts. Open up the hip, bend the knee, reach the toes. And then if you feel, just gently twist on the right ball of the foot to gently lower the left leg down behind you, off the mat. And open up to your wild big back bend. Exhaling. Come back to three-legged dog. And let's take a vinyasa here. Good, downward facing dog. Inhale, raise the right leg. Sweep it forward. Right wrist, left heel down. Let's come to warrior one here. Find your inner warrior. Pull it up into the heart. Keep the chin tucked. And bend that right knee. Feel that potential in the back heel, the left side of the back body. Good. Clasp the hands behind the sacrum. Lift the chest. And exhale, forward fold. Surrendered warrior. Rolling the shoulders up and over the back. Inhale. Come to warrior two. Spiral the arms. Bring that front heel in line with the back arch. Bend the right knee. Inhale to star. Exhale, warrior two again. Lift the right heel of the front leg. And can you bend a little deeper? So getting some calf work here. Drop the heel. Lift the heel. Drop the heel. Charge that back leg. Lift the right heel. And then drop the heel. Let's reverse. And exhale. Come to your vinyasa. Plank, chaturanga, upward facing dog, and downward facing dog. If you need to do child's pose or knees, chest, chin in your vinyasas, go ahead. Inhale, lift the left leg. Sweep it forward to the left wrist, right heel down. Warrior one. Reach through the heart and let the core Bring the arms around and higher. Bend that front leg. Use that core strength to rotate the right shoulder forward, and then really feel that back heel, the back leg, powered up. Internal rotation there. Good. And let's take this to our surrendered warrior. Bring your hands in a clasp. Roll the shoulder heads back. Lift the chest. Pull the low abdomen in. And then rotate the surrendered warrior. Just bring those shoulder blades up and over. But keep those abs engaged. Think of it as like an upside down crunch. Back heel is heavy. Inhale, coming up. Warrior 2. Line up front heel with back arch. Bend that left knee. Inhale, star, both legs straight. Exhale, warrior 2. Lift the left heel and lower the heel. Wrists are over top of the foot. Lift the left heel. Exhale, lower. Internal rotation of the back leg. Let's take a couple more lifts of the heel. Notice when we engage the calf, we can lift and lengthen the whole spine. Good, let's reverse. Right on behind the waist. Get a nice arch into that left shoulder, and then take it to a vinyasa here. And take your vinyasa. The vinyasas are meant to be resets. Check-ins, getting in touch with the body again. Good, inhale, lengthen. In your down dog, exhale. Rotate those biceps towards the ceiling. Pull in the low ribs. Press through the heels. Last breath. Very, very nice. Look forward. Bend the knees and hop or step 2 big steps. Make your way to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, drop the hips, sweep the arms up, chair. Use your core to lift the side ribs and the shoulder girdle up and out of the hips. So abs, abs, abs. Sticking the sits bones back, coming in heavy in those heels. Sit 4 inches lower, I dare you. Good, 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 good. Inhale, coming up to stand. Exhale, down. Let's take the right leg back. Let's come into our triangle here. And we'll open up the right arm parallel to our ear and hinge the hips back. And pull both quads up, lifting the left arm. And then exhale, come to frame the right foot, bringing the hands on either side of the right foot. Bend the right knee, come into warrior 3 prep with the fingertips touching, and then open up the right body to twisted half moon. Pavrita Ardha Chakrasana. Fancy Indian accent there in Sanskrit. Good. Exhale. Bring both hands down, standing split. Right forearm behind the calf. Lift that left leg. Tuck the chin. And exhale to stand. Halfway pose. Look forward. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach all the way up. Exhale down. Triangle on the right side, right leg back. Lift the quadriceps, hinge the hips to the right, lengthen that left arm by the ear. Until you can't hinge or move your spine any more parallel, then you can bring that arm gently to rest. But again, lifting and engaging the side ribs, the left side of the body, the front of the left shoulder as you open up. So the triangle does have a little element of our twist here. But notice how the twist really only comes from the navel center up. The tailbone, the hip flexors, everything else in the legs is engaged and pressing into the mat. We're absorbing energy up the body, but the foundation is moving down. Exhale, drop that right arm, frame the left foot, bend the left knee into warrior 3 prep with the hands touching the ground, right leg lifted. Keep that right hand down, open up the left, twisted half moon. Inner right thigh is reaching up. You can keep a little bend in the left knee. And just use your legs to get longer in the low abdomen, to lengthen the crown, to twist even deeper on your exhales here. Take another 2 breaths. Lengthen. Just really fire up that core last breath. And then exhale, drop that left hand, bring the forearm behind the left calf, and the right arm can stabilize as we lift into our standing splits. So the right leg lifts. Tuck the chin. Can you lift the right leg even more? Even more, even more, even more. And exhale. Drop it next to the left. Come standing. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Reach. Exhale down. Very, very nice, guys. I want to try something a little different. So we've done malasana like this, and then we've done crow. So I want to try a side crow if you are game for it. So let's come into, let's come seated with our, coming to a squat. And the heels are lifted. So I'm kind of, fingers are on the mat, balls of the feet are pressing, heels are lifted, and I'm squeezing my knees together. Then I'm going to walk my hands over to the left side, and I'm going to place my left elbow on the left hip, my right elbow outside the left knee, and then I'll demonstrate this from the side. And then hands come flat. Again, maintain that contact, left hip, left knee with the elbows. That's going to be your shelf as you just rock over top and lift the legs. So this feels quite comfortable for me. And exhale, coming back. So just try a side crow here. We've opened up the body and the twist enough that if you just bring those elbows into the shelf and kind of crouch towards the left quad. Once those hands are flat, rock the whole body to the left and lift up. So try this 2 times, 3 times if you need. And then we will make our way to the opposite side. So if you tried on that side, you can lift your hips, kind of sway side to side, rock it out. And then come again to squat, lifting the heels, and then walking hands over to the right. So right elbow, right hip. Squeeze the core, kind of crunch towards your right thigh, left elbow, right hip, right knee, so it's framed. And then once the hands are flat, you just sort of seesaw back and forth with the outer thigh on the shelf of the upper arm. And then pretty much using a seesaw, maybe a tiptoe, you can come up to side. And then the most advanced would be both legs shooting out from there. So try another time here on the side crow. Twisting over to the right first, really engaging the core. Crunch to the right side, bring those elbows to touch the leg, and then rock forward over the wrists. Lift the feet, and you're done. Woohoo! Weightless. Nice. And if you're not there yet, that's okay. We'll revisit this, and you'll be surprised. Just a little bit more concentration and knowing and feeling into the body. It's amazing when I say concentration in yoga, it usually means relinquishing of our former ideas of our body and ourselves. You know how yoga is. So let's come to legs out in front, and grab your strap if you need. We're going to do some pascimottanasana variation. Sometimes it's nice to have just a tiny blanket or a tiny lift if you need it. So just have it to the side if you need. So let's rock over to the left side, bend that right knee, and bring the heel outside of the right hip. So from here, if you need to press, what's nice is you can take your hand to your right calf and rotate the calf muscle outside, so that can help to bring more space to the knee. You should not be feeling your knees at all in the joint. If you are, come out of it. Do not mess up your knees. If you need to, something that's nice is I'll take a bath towel, fold it in half, and roll it into a little sort of sausage thingy, and then I'll put it in the crevice of my knee. My Iyengar teacher used to do that for me, and that really helped create more space in the knee joint. Just that tiny little bit of cushion in the crook of the knee. Okay? So let's come to pascimottanasana. If you need the blanket, if you feel very, very lopsided and you want to bring a blanket under the long leg, the left leg, just diagonally under the sit bone there, then we are ready to rock. So we have our strap, and bring the strap over the ball of the foot, and then inhale, lift and lengthen. Inner thighs are rotating down, the center of the body is moving back, and then we're exhaling, forward fold, just enough so that you feel the dynamics starting to come into play. And it's good to lead with the heart. So don't lead with the head, because that's just going to bring this curve in the back. You want to ground those sits bones internally, let the internal leg move down, and then walk your hands up the strap, maybe even taking the left foot in your hand, squeezing the left leg and coming further forward. Eventually, for those who are super Gumby, you can take the left wrist behind the foot and grab that wrist. Let's take another breath here, breath or two. Notice what this does to the core and how this kind of changes our balance a bit. So we have to use our core muscles to really ground in. Good. Take a nice long breath. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, ground those inner thighs, ground those legs, and then exhaling, come back up. Okay, switch sides. Gently come out, rock to the left side. Lengthen your right leg out. Maybe shake the knees a little bit, like kind of wag a little bit. and then rock over to the right side, and then bend the left knee. I'm going to bring my little blanket underneath my right sits bone, and keeping rocked over to the side, I'm going to roll that left calf out from under, and again, come out if you feel the knee. You can always do regular pascimottanasana with the foot inside, but I want to try this way because it gets more into the core and twists like we were doing. So snuggle that left heel by the hip and squeeze the right leg down, inner thighs down. Take your strap, or if you already have, I like to start with a strap. If you're super Gumby and you want to go straight to the foot, you can. But let's start slow and even. Squeeze, ground the legs, lift the chest, and then come into your forward bend. So I'm already feeling the left side of my core engaged here as I balance my hips and get more heavy in the bent leg. Walking those hands towards the foot. Again, see if you can squeeze the right leg down enough so that the heel even lifts. And then the Gumby people can bring that right wrist behind the ball of the foot, grabbing the hand. Wherever you are, just be honest with yourself and with your body. Get humble, breathe into the lower abdomen. Let's take another couple breaths here. Core, core, core. And gentleness in the heart. And exhaling, coming up. Rock over to the right side, lengthen that left leg. And then let's come to our backs. And we'll make our way to our bridge pose. Sorry for the light there. Once in bridge, bring the heels in. These winter times, the light changing every 5 seconds. Roll the shoulders underneath the chest and then lift the hips. Lengthen the body. You can bring a clasp with the hands underneath the hips. And press into those heels. Take another breath here. And exhaling. Windshield wiper the knees. And let's take another bridge. Bringing the heels in, tucking the tailbone towards the knees. Maybe you can even bring the fingertips underneath the heels of the feet as you roll your shoulders under. And press with the heels, inner thighs down so that it gets heavy in the shoulders. Hips raised, shoulders get heavier. Get higher. Can we go 4 inches higher? 3 inches higher? 2 and 1, and roll down. Good. And you can give your knees a hug, windshield wiper, or lengthen them out. And then we'll prep for a shoulder stand here. So bringing our blanket to the mat in the open fold that you see. I'm going to bring it about 3/4 up my mat, and then I'm going to pull my mat over top of the blanket so that there's that extra cushion. And then I'll bring the tops of my shoulders even with the top of the mat, maybe down an inch or so. And then pressing into the hands, lift the hips and bring the hips into the cradle of the palms. Or if you want to go into more of the full shoulder stand, you can bring those elbows parallel and walk the heels of the hands up the back body. Streaming energy through the feet, through the toes. And the weight should be on top of the shoulders. So as you get straighter and you bring the hips a little bit more forward over the shoulders, starts to bring more of a release for the shoulders, and then nice dynamic for lengthening the whole body away. So this is really good for the lymph, for the thyroid. The thyroid's in the front of our neck. It's really good for circulation, for getting toxins out, for reversing the flow, invigorating the brain. Helps back pain, shoulder pain. Take another couple breaths here. And once you find that place, you can start to, as you come out, lower the legs into plow pose, bringing the arms flat and clasped to the mat, where the top of the toes are reaching towards the floor behind our head. Again, a lot of pulling in of the core and lifting the hips out of the shoulders. How's the breath? Can you lift the legs, the knees up in your plow? And then slowly lowering vertebrae by vertebrae, palms face down. And then once the sacrum lands, you can press into the elbows and the forearms and lift the chest with the legs lowered into your fish posture. Top of the head on the mat. And then inhale. On your exhale, stick your tongue out, cross your eyes, and breathe like a lion. Let the root of the tongue come out of the face. Inhale. Cross the eyes towards the eyebrows. Exhale, stick your tongue out. Open the jaw. Take another one or two. It's a nice release for the face. Last one. Good, and exhale. Slowly lower down. Bringing the palms face up. Making our way to Shavasana. Tuck those shoulders underneath the body. And just let the legs fall to the side. Let the arms be heavy. The back of the head. Closing the eyes if you haven't already, and letting the backs of the eyes really sink into the body. letting the breath descend into the lower abdomen. Just getting very quiet, internal. Imagine all of our sensory awareness draining down the center of the clavicle at the base of the neck, down into the heart space. Letting our heartbeat invigorate the blood and our breath. Tip of the tongue is behind the front teeth, completely subduing our vital essence and protecting it inside our body, healing it through rest, restoring and repairing. Imagining yourself in a serene, calm location in the earth, around somewhere on earth that feels very safe and familiar. Wrapping yourself cloak of comfort, feeling whole. Bringing that nature in. Staying here secure and comforted, bringing a color around your whole body. Feeling so nourished. Gently starting to deepen your breath. Bringing awareness into the body. Letting the senses infiltrate the face and neck. Gently moving fingers and toes, bending the knees and turning over to one side, using the arm as a pillow. Just rest on the side there, feeling the length of the spine, the weight of the body, being supported by the earth. And peacefully pressing the hands to lift the spine, to come seated. Lifting the head, bringing hands to heart center. Inhale, lengthen the breath. Exhale. Let's take another deep breath. Inhale. At the top of the inhale, breathe in a little more. A little more. Sip a little more. A little more breath. Biggest breath all day. And exhale. Let it all go. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me. Namaste. May all beings everywhere be happy and free. Thank you so much, so much. And I look forward to seeing you next week. And I will do better to the light this time. So we got the sound a little better, but sorry about that patch of sun, which in these winter months ain't such a bad thing. Enjoy your rest of your day. Thank you so much. Bye.